is Mr. Patches Triple X, your friendly COD fanboy, and today I have a story for you guys. But first, the gameplay you're watching is me playing Hardpoint on Combine. Obviously, again, this map is so fucking overplayed, but nonetheless, I actually get a super killer this game. Super good gameplay. I had a lot of fun. It's kind of slow in the beginning, but I quickly turn it up towards the end of this game, so I hope you enjoy. But the story I wanted to tell you guys was how I turned invisible at Chuck E. Cheese. And I know that sounds pretty ludicrous, but I did it. So I don't know if you guys know what Chuck E. Cheese is. I'm assuming you all do. It's pretty big. It's basically like this pizza parlor that has these animatronics and games, and it's like a kid's freaking dream place. But for others, it's quite scary. And for me, it was one of those kids. When I was younger, about 4, I was godly afraid of Chuck E. Cheese. He's this, I don't know if you know what he looks like, but just Google Chuck E. Cheese images. He's this giant man in a or giant mouse or rat, whatever you want to call him. And obviously there's a man that's at the costume, but it's huge. He's probably like 7 feet tall, and he just walks around the place like hugging kids and shaking hands and things like that. He's like their mascot. And it's the creepiest thing ever. So when I was younger, I was just incredibly scared of him. So I was told as a child that if I wore sunglasses, then I could hide from him. I was told that if I wore shades or sunglasses, whatever you want to call them, that I would turn invisible the moment I put them on, and nobody could see me, including that giant fucking rat. And there's so many other animatronics. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, basically. It's like freaking, and I've played those games. Like, those animatronics are so creepy. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of Five Nights at Freddy, freaking 1 through however many fucking sequels they're gonna make. But so I was told that if I wore those sunglasses, nobody could see me. So I fully bought into this, and I think you can imagine how, like, where this would get me in trouble. But me believing that I was completely invisible, I decided to take full advantage of that. And one day we went to Chuck E. Cheese. I believe it was my sister's birthday party. She loved going there. She loved it. And I didn't forget my sunglasses, and I walked out of the car. I got and put my sunglasses on. I walked in, and the first thing that I did when I put those sunglasses on and walked the doors, I walked up to Chuck E. Cheese. I waved my hand in front of him, and I tried to get his attention. He didn't see me, and that was an indication to me that I was invisible. If he didn't respond to me, I was invisible. He actually had his back turned to me. I didn't quite realize this till later. One of my family members was telling me this story again, and they said, "Yeah, his back was to you." And I was like, "Oh, well, that explains why it worked." But to me, that was indication that I was invisible. So I proceeded on. I started to play some games, ate some pizza, stuff like that. And there was actually one child. He was in a racing kart game. He was like in one of those little kart things, and I wanted to play, but he was like taking forever. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happened. I don't really go to arcades like that anymore. But and I had my sunglasses on. I walked over to him, and I pushed him right off the chair. I just as hard as I could threw him off, believing I was completely invisible. And he started to cry and wail and everything. And his mom came over, and she was like, she was asking what happened. And by that time, I was long gone. And this kid was young. He was like 3 years old, so he was barely babbling. Mom couldn't figure out what was happening. So I was able to get away with that. And so, further indication that I was basically invincible. So I continued to do that. I actually terrorized a couple of the other kids in the arcade in order to have my way on some of those games. But finally, the climax comes when I'm about to leave, and Chuck E. is towards the end. It's towards the end of lunchtime. Chuck E. Cheese is kind of making his rounds. He's walking around to kids, giving them high fives and everything. And I really hated this mouse. I was so scared of it because I thought I was invisible. My fear turned to hatred, and so the mascot got to me, or he got to walk to my mom, and I was in front of my mom. And he proceeded to give my mom a high five. And as soon as he went for that high five, I took my leg and I kicked him as hard as I could. I just freaking wailed into him, started punching him and everything, and I tried to jump on his back. I kind of got like his upper thigh because the damn thing was so huge, but I kicked and I screamed and I was like just fighting him with all my might, perceiving that he was like trying to hurt my mom or something. And and of course the giant rat has no idea what's going on either. So the manager comes out. She's freaking out what's going on. She thought she had no clue what was happening. The employee inside the thing was just totally baffled. My mom was like almost in tears because she was so embarrassed that her freaking 4-year-old child had just assaulted this giant rat, believing he was invisible. So, needless to say, I was kicked out of the store. My whole family was kicked out of the establishment. My whole family was, and I was banned from that place. There was a photo of me on the wall that said this child is no longer allowed here, and it was stayed there for 6 months until my mom could prove to them that I had learned my lesson and no longer believed that sunglasses gave me magical powers. And that was kind of one of the last times I ever went to Chuck E. Cheese. Because not only was I really pissed with that rat, I was really pissed with my parents for lying to me. Because they later explained to me that I wasn't invisible and they were just trying to stop their giant pussy of a son from freaking out over a rat. So that is my Chuck E. Cheese story. I thought you guys might enjoy it. It was probably one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done. It certainly won't be the last embarrassing thing that I do, but just want to share it with you guys, give you guys some insight into my life. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and peace out, everybody.